Okay. Looks like we're okay. I think we're fine. Looks like I might have to convert to Microsoft Edge for recording this podcast because computers are stupid. Welcome to the Stretch Thin podcast.
Where we share our experiences and encouragement as two men trying, not thriving in the 21st century. I'm Shannon, a pastor, a coffee shop owner, and an author.
I'm Grumpy Joel, a former pastor, now tech professional and author, and I don't like computers and browsers. Hi, Shannon. Are you ready?
Let's do it, man.
He's well, you know how I'm doing.
That was a haul, man, to get us
was
recording on this one.
so annoying. I had to get rid of Chrome. I mean, not get rid of Chrome, but I had to stop using Chrome, and it just didn't want to work. It kept it just saying did not want to work. So, which is so weird. Um. Anyway, how how are you, sir?
I'm well. I'm well.
I love it though. I do love that you're white. You're wearing the white hat and the white shirt. I'm wearing the dark and the dark. It's like we're two opposite ends of the dark and light side. And it's funny is because you came from New York, so you'd think you'd be wearing the dark stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, and how, man. That place.
How was it? What is? I mean, there's a lot of people that think. I mean, you even joked about it being in quotes sketchy in some places. There's a lot of people that see, the beauty of the city, and they're like, okay, it's gorgeous, and then there's some people who are like, it's the worst place in the world. Where do you fall now, having gone there and visited?
Yeah, I'm on the low end of that spectrum as far like this is my third time to go. Um, I went to New York in college and lived actually in the city for a month doing with this outreach team. We went to the various different boroughs to churches. We did things like you know street drama in Battery Park and it was yeah. But we also did we did like food nights at these local churches and help people that were on the streets that were you know homeless or on drugs or whatever. So it was that was an experience, and so it's but it's not changed in 30 plus
Mm.
years. It's still very much so the same. Then 15 years ago, we went back. My wife and I with some friends, and we really didn't. We weren't in New York very long, and we went up and we drove. So we drove. They drove. Our friends drove. We spent more time in the car in traffic than we did really anything anywhere else. And we
Yes.
we were kind of like we spent most of our time in Manhattan. We went to a Yankees game then, um, and that was
Which is
just
super cool.
so it was cool. I love that. Yeah, that was just a really cool experience to be able to go there. So this time was my like I want to come back and I want to take my son who was just a year old, not even a year old. He was about to turn a year old the week that we went. He stayed back, and I just was like, got to bring him here, like when he's old enough to appreciate it. And so this was the year we went, and that was really our primary purpose in going was just to go to the game. But we went a day earlier than the game, so we spent that first day kind of just like rapid fire through the city,
Mm-hmm.
seeing like important touristy sites like the MLB Superstore that's in Manhattan, and then that was like the first place we went. And then we went to Rockefeller Center, or yeah, Rockefeller Plaza rather, and uh, to the 9/11 memorial. Super surreal, like
Mm-hmm.
that just that hit hard. And to be
Yeah.
telling him about it, like to be like, yeah, I remember when. From there, we went to Trinity Church, which is just down the road, which is really cool because that was the burial place of Alexander Hamilton and his family.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just kind of stumbled on that, and then we walked over to Wall Street, and that was pretty cool to see the New York Stock Exchange, and the place where George Washington was signed in as the first president, or inaugurated as the first president. And then we walked on down to Battery and got on ferry to Liberty to Ellis or to the Statue of Liberty. What is the island the
There you
Statue
go.
of Liberty is on?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
And then we did that, and then we went over to Ellis Island. Took him. This is pretty cool. Took him to the Wall of Immigrants to show him the name of one of my great 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 grandfathers that's on there.
That's super cool.
William James Greer is on the wall there, and so got to do that. And then we darted back. We were going to try to hit Central Park, but the sky fell out. Massive thunderstorm. So we subwayed it back to our hotel, drenched, literally soaked to the bone, and crashed in the bed that night. We were so tired. And then but all through all that, and then Saturday was the game. Saturday was like the reason that we went, and the game was fantastic. We loved that. And then we went. We thought, well, let's go try to see Central Park now. 6 o'clock in the evening. So we get on the subway. I used ChatGPT, bad idea, to tell me what subways to take, what trains. It misleads me. And then I'm like, are you sure? I'm asking it, are you sure? And it's like, oh, I led you wrong there. And I'm like, okay. And
Thanks
so
a
at
lot.
nine, and so we finally get to Central Park at 9 o'clock at night. We have to walk through Times Square on Saturday night, which was horrible. And I'm going somewhere with giving you this rundown because we had some high spots, but then we get on the subway and we take it to Queens, and we find out that that subway doesn't take us to our hotel in the Bronx, so we have to get off in Queens and we have to walk 10 blocks one way, 5 blocks another way through Harlem at like 10 o'clock at night.
Ooh,
Yeah, and we're both in our white Yankees striped jerseys, my new white Yankees hat, and like there is no way we can't be seen because we are just bright white in the nighttime there, and we finally get back to our hotel at like almost 11 o'clock, and my son
did
looks
anyone
at me
give
and
you any
he's like,
trouble?
no, no, I mean it was we were fine, but so we just looked at one another and we're like, we're fine if we only ever come back for a Yankees game and just do the Yankees game. Like you can have it all. So, yeah, definitely low end for us. I mean, I there was a time when I was super fascinated and enthralled by in the big NYC, but yeah, give me my back porch.
Yep. I love I mean I do love the city. I am more at home in that kind of place just because I like the hustle, the bustle, and all of it. But there's also something to be said of like where would you live, and it's not cheap. And the city that most people want to live in is not the cheap spot. Obviously, it's not the high billionaire row kind of place, but if you want a decent spot in New York, you're not looking at a low rent or low mortgage or whatever. It's not cheap,
Mm-mm.
so um, much better to visit, but not like you just said. Also visit in the good spots and not end up somewhere crazy at night. So I do think it's sad that you lost your hat, but I see that you got a new one. So you lost the hat on the ferry over to the
Oh man, yeah,
Statue of Liberty.
my favorite melon hat, man. This was my favorite one, and
Wasn't that the
like
hat that you was your favorite that you lost and then you found again and then now you've
no, I didn't. I hadn't lost that one. That one Christy and I got when we were in San Diego this past spring. It was yeah, it was one of the hats that I got while I was there, and I just it was like a their one of their special edition hats. And I mean, it was windy, and I was like, I need to, I need to make sure it doesn't blow off. And I just happened to turn in a direction, and a gust of wind went, and I literally watched it go flying down into the water. And
was it
oh my gosh,
was that your bad?
yeah, yeah, that was because everything else about it was fantastic. But yeah, that was probably the worst thing about it. And the I don't know the 10 o'clock field trip through, you know,
I mean, but you didn't get mugged or anything, so it's not like
no, but man, like you see stuff. You definitely see like there's moments that you're like, okay, we need to move a little bit faster because something. somebody's getting mad at somebody else, and yeah, we walked past one girl. She was on the phone and she was yelling at somebody, and she was like, "I'll pop you, and I'll pop your mother, and I'll pop your aunt, and I'll pop." I mean, she was talking about who all she's gonna pop, and I think I know what she meant by that.
I think, and I think most people hearing this could understand what she was meaning. Pretty clear.
And we were like, somebody's gonna drive up on her, and she keeps talking about who she's popping,
Mm-hmm.
and oof. So
That's so funny.
yeah, that was my week. It was my weekend. How about you, sir?
It was pretty good. Pretty chill. I'd say not as adventurous as yours. Um, honestly, it's been a fairly chill week. Um, a big, I think a big thing that was a good for me. Um, just kind of was the I felt like I felt as if I was doing well to help my wife, right? So she was getting ready for homeschooling this week. Where we're starting homeschooling, so they started today. And I was just I felt like I was doing a pretty good job of balancing. All right, I've got my work stuff, I got this stuff, and I want to make sure I can help her out, and I'll take the kids. I've got some time. I'll take the kids so that she can do more work on that. Um, and I just sometimes, right, it feels sometimes it doesn't always feel like you're firing on all cylinders as a husband in the sense of supporting your spouse, and some weeks you do. And I think this was a week where I was going, okay, yeah, I feel as if I've got it, and I at least this week. And then I honestly, funnily enough, I think a good for me was the big good really, or I guess maybe this was my win. Um, was I played drums on Sunday. And I've talked about how the worship team is very different at this church than it is at many other churches, especially the ones I used to be at. It's not as kind of polished. And there's one of the reason why I wanted to be at this church was we wanted woefully unprofessional, and it's just going to be different. And but what's funny is in a unpolished and unprofessional team, there's actually, funnily enough, a little bit more leeway to do things kind of off the cuff. And one of them was, so I ended up playing drums because the drummer who's going to play is out of town for a few weeks. And so I messaged the leader and I said, we don't have a drummer. I'm playing electric. I can just play drums if you want me to. Um, he said, actually, that'd be really good. And so show up. We were supposed to have more singers. We didn't because of sickness. And so me and the other singer are kind of talking, and we're talking about. She's like, I don't know. I mean, we don't have as many people do harmony anymore or melody anymore, so I think I might need to do melody. And I said, I'd sing. I could sing and play in the drums. I just don't have a mic. And she looked at the mic next to her that no one was using. She said, why don't we just use this one? And so her and I made the executive decision: just bring the mic over here to the drum set. I'll set it up and I'll just sing while I play. And I did, and it was a ton of fun. I actually haven't sang harmony and played drums at the same time since my pastor days. I mean, since like
Yeah,
six,
well,
7 years ago. Um, and absolutely destroyed it. I mean, absolutely crushed it. There were a couple of moments where I was just in my bag, flow state, so good.
that's
And it
cool.
was great because there was a part of me that was like, this is so good to do this. I don't know, it's so easy to just continually grind out life and constantly be pushing yourself, and as a result you're uncomfortable, which is a part of life, and it's difficult, and you hit obstacles and you have to push past them. But sometimes it is just great to absolutely demolish something because you are so good at it. And it's once again, it's not me being like, look at me, I'm so much better. But I did spend years developing a craft. It was also part of my job, and it's a God-given talent that I've fostered and developed for years and years and years. And it shows in the fact that on a whim, I just went, all right, I'm singing harmony. And singing and playing drums is so different than singing and playing guitar. And it's just the amount of mental gymnastics you have to be doing
Mm,
the whole
yeah,
time, right? And especially in modern worship. because modern worship is just toms. It's just playing the toms. That's all you do. You play toms for a little bit, and then you play more toms for a little bit, and then you build for a little bit, and now you're playing the full kit. It's just all modern worship is. It's just toms. And so you're hitting all these different toms while you're singing harmony and thinking about where you're supposed to go on as the drummer, how you're supposed to keep the tempo, all guiding the song and singing the harmony, listening to the singers. But there was a couple moments where I was just in the zone, and I was like, man, I needed that. It's kind of the
They,
joke is I did my hair for a body image boost. You know, Playing the drums was
hmm
like a confidence boost. So anyway, so that was the week I had with a good, and then that was my win. Was your win New York? Was it getting to go see the Yankees with your son?
Yeah, I think that was it. It was the being there. Yeah, I think it was being with him the two of us were together nonstop for 72 hours roughly. I think we
Wow.
left Chattanooga on Thursday, so we were New York all day Friday, Saturday, and then we came back Sunday evening, and so it was close to 72 hours nonstop. I mean, we were. I mean, like he went to go get snacks or whatever at the game, but we were with each other, and I don't know that I've ever been 72 hours with someone like literally like at our hotel we we slept in a king size bed, so literally I mean we were in each other's
I love that.
presence almost nonstop for 72 hours. And I mean he didn't seem to get annoyed with me. I mean he laughed at me because I was constantly like, you know, it's dad, you just laugh at dad, but it was just a sweet time of just being with my son and just seeing him like relish and being in the Yankee Stadium. Like the first I was telling my wife this, like the first 30, 45 minutes that we were there, he was so quiet and I couldn't figure out like if something was wrong or so I was kind of like, are you okay? Are you disappointed in our seats or whatever? And he was just like, no, dad, like I just can't believe I'm here. Like
Hmm.
it was overwhelming to him, and at least that was my read on it. And so yeah, I think just spending that time with my son, you know, father son time, golly, it was a gift that it was worth every penny that we spent to go and it was an expensive trip, but it was like I wouldn't trade it for the world, So yeah, it was that was
I
a
love that.
huge win this week. So
That's sick. Love it so much. Uh, you kind of already said your bad was losing your hat. Was that legitimately your bad?
yeah, I think I mean there's every day there's the business, there's challenges, there's stresses and worries, and I think trying to being there and trying to navigate through um, questions of oh, how do I handle this, or this is going wrong, we need to deal with this, or and really struggling at times to be present. Like Friday, my
Mm-hmm.
phone was
Mm-hmm.
constantly going off, constantly ringing, and at one point he was like, you can put it on do not disturb, and I was like, you know what, you're right,
Got
you're
him.
right,
Got him.
yeah. So I mean that was kind of like, yeah, it's just it's that was kind of tough, but yeah, even with I think the good, the win, man, far outweighed the magnitude of those two things. Just far outweighed any sort of bad.
Mm,
Did you tell
that's
me you're
good, man.
bad?
No, I think mine was. I was talking to Joanna about this. I feel as if I'm. Or I make the joke. We say overstimulated. Are you a little overstimulated today? You feeling overstimulated? I'll say like I'm feeling overstimulated. I need a little menti B, a little menti breakdown. Give me a little menti B right now. But I do feel as if the I'm in it's season. I mean, it's a season with the kids, right? I've got a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and they're just on it. I've got Nora is she's 6, and so there is emotional instability that happens around these ages, and then Lucy's got this older kid syndrome. She's also still growing herself, and Ed's coming into 2, and it's not a thing for they don't say it for no reason. Terrible twos is a real thing, and he is just becoming a bear, and you're just like, okay, this is a lot. and, you, and on the one side, you're grateful to be able to spend time with your kids, one, and also to help your family out and help your
Mm-hmm.
wife out, and then be like, I'm going to spend time with them. And it's so funny. I mean, we went to the pool Friday, and it was great. I took all 3 of them. It was fantastic. Gave Joanna some time to work on the stuff she needed to work on, and I love that part. The part I don't love is coming home and dealing with the craziness in the house and them just going nuts. And you're like, what is happening? You guys are
Mm.
feral and emotionally unstable. Like, what is going? What? I think I was in an insane asylum right now, and I just was like, okay, I'm feeling a little too much of this. Um, so it was just interesting. I mean, and I think that was my bad, was just having those moments where I don't like the situation that's going on, and I don't like how I'm handling it. And I never once freaked out or blew up on my kids, but um, it was just tough. I think it was just a tougher week of emotionally and mentally being just, all right, I'm done. This is enough. So
Parenting small kids is no easy thing, dude. Like it, and especially when you've got the ages that you have in particular, like they're very high demanding. My wife, while I was gone, she had our 10-year-old, and then the cousins. We call them the cousins. It's her sister, my nieces and nephew, and they are 7, 5, and 2. And so, and Christy had all of them here over the weekend by herself, and she loved it. Like she. I mean, she got a tent, put it up in the living room, and
that's fun.
they slept in the tent, and she just did all kinds of fun things with them. But I asked her, I was like, "How was it?" And she said, "I can't believe how tired I am. After like I don't like it's a lot. Like
Yep,
they
it
call
is.
her Aunt Sissy. So Aunt Sissy, and Aunt Sissy and hungry. Aunt Sissy, can you get me this?" And she's like, it's just
It's
it's
all the time.
yeah.
It's
So
it's just always. Parenting's like, it's like that movie. It's like the Shrek movie when Donkey kept talking the entire time to Shrek when they're traveling. That's parenting young kids. You're just like,
yeah,
stop, just shut your mouth.
donkey, yeah. No, I hear to hear you talk about it, and I remember. I mean, we had our 3 older daughters were within 5, 6 years of each other. Um, it was a challenge, and so overstimulated. Yeah, I remember going later day times that I was just like,
I know.
it was
I
it.
I've
Yeah,
I've been playing more video games at night, which has meant I've stayed up a little later. But I'm just like, you just need a second to just play video games and get out this. just
decompress. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, um, but yeah,
Hey,
that
I
that was
don't
that was
think
mine.
I've been curious. I don't think we did we talk about your High Rocks workout. I
We
don't
did.
think we recorded. Did we last? Was it on the other?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Okay,
it's. I literally sent you a reel that said High Rocks,
you
their fastest growing sports.
you did. I haven't watched it today.
That's I sent you the stuff to post, and one of them was High Rocks, the fastest growing fitness movement.
Well, I'll go open it. I've had
It
my
is
phone on Do
so
Not
funny.
Disturb.
No, hey, way to go. No, as far as fitness goes, I don't know. I think you and I don't know where you are, because I know for a while you were on your nutrition plan. I mean, especially when we were in Boone, you were so locked into that nutrition plan. You have been losing weight. You had been recomping your body. Where are you now of that? I mean, because it's been a part of this podcast, like just the same thing with Stay's been a big part of this podcast journey, where is everything with your fitness? How are you feeling?
I feel good. I've not been as aggressive in tracking my food. Um, I I I kind of sent a set in this whole process, like a benchmark of a range of where I wanted to be weight wise, and then be able like to get there and then determine like what's next. And so I got
Yeah.
there. I feel like I reached I went well past my goal of losing to where I wanted to, and so I felt really good about that. And amazingly, I've with even after having you know eaten like crazy crap stuff in the past 3 days. I mean, we did walk 20,000 steps for Friday and Saturday. So when I hopped on the scale this morning, I was like, okay, I've stayed in where I wanted to be, and so I'm really happy with that. I definitely think that I'm ready to like now kind of change. Do it now? Do I? That was a cutting phase. Now, do I want to do a bit of a bulking phase? Um, as far as feeling, I feel great. Sleep has gotten a little bit more. I've
How's
been a
that
little
been?
bit more flexible with the with. I don't take the medicine as much or much as like every night. I've got other sleep aids that I'm using that's also helping. So all in all, I mean, I'm not like being aggressive about anything, yeah, but I mean, I'm still going to the gym every day, and I'm conscious of what I'm eating, but I'm just not. I'm not like tracking every single macro. Now, if my coaches hear this, they're probably going to be like, but they know because I haven't checked in as much either over the last month, just because I just haven't. But how about you? I mean, you say you did the high rocks, and we talked about that on the last podcast, which is going to be dropping tomorrow. Um,
It's interesting. Like, um, yeah, I started a. I wanted to bring the weight down a little bit because I was same thing. Not, I wasn't being as conscious about. I wasn't tracking, but I was being conscious about what I was eating, but not so much that I was being so restrictive that I would be in a deficit all the time. Last week I started the deficit I just want to bring it down a little bit. I think I was getting back up into the 50s, like the 250s. I don't know. I kept forgetting to weigh myself, but um I came into this week like 245 again, which is good. And I'd like to be, I don't know if it's sustainable, but I'd love to be back down into the 230s just because it felt better as far
mm,
as just the wear and tear of all the stuff that I was doing. Um, but I had a friend actually say this to me yesterday. Um, because sometimes I'll post something, a fitness thing, and he said, "You do know that you're like that you're in the 1%." Because he said, "I don't know many friends of mine that are as strong as you, that are not on steroids." And he said, like, the numbers for your bench and your back squat and your deadlift are actually impressive just at their own merit. And then also you can run. Like, you could run a mile or so, you know, and not stop. If you can run 2 or so miles and bench this weight and do pull-ups and stuff, like, you're in the 1%. And then he made a joke, which is so funny. It was unhinged. But he said, "You guys, like, you CrossFitter guys are like in the you're like the Epstein club, you know? You not many people are going to be able to get into it, but you know about it." And I was like, what an unhinged but very appropriate thing to say about, like, but the problem too is, and I did say back to him, I said, the irony though, or the problem for me is, yes, okay, sure, I'm in the 1%, but I hang out with the 1%. It'd be different if I was in the 1% and I hung out with the rest of the 99% all the time. But the people I spend the most time with basically are the 1% people that you're talking about. I'm in the gym with the guy who came 10th in the CrossFit games, for, his age group. I'm around these guys that are super fit, that are even more fit than me. And so my frame of reference is, I think I'm in the 99%, because I'm in the 99% of the gym, and those guys are in the 1%. And it helps sometimes to have that frame of reference, because I think for me it's really easy to go, I'm not as skinny as this guy in the gym. I'm not as strong as this guy in the gym. I'm not as blah blah blah. And it's always the people that I'm around, right? It's not like this
Hmm.
guy that's in the other part of the world. I wish I looked like him.
Sure.
Like I
People
don't
that
care
you
about that
know.
person. Right. So I do feel I do feel strong. Um I do. Like I do not feel bad in that way. And I even though I don't I think I would love to look a little differently and lose some weight and whatever around certain areas. I am also happy that like I'm able to run not long distances. I'm not running 10 miles at a time, but I'm working up to being able to run more and I can do that. So I feel fit and my kids get to see it, which has been fun. You know,
Hmm.
we've made it now a thing on Sundays where the girls will come out with me after lunch and I'll put them through a little workout and then they go inside and then I'll do my own lifting. And I love it. I love that they get to be a part of it and they they keep saying they keep going like I want big strong muscles like you, which is great because then I can say yeah you need to eat your protein, eat this food, and you know it's a perfect little way to be like eat the stupid food, stop saying you don't want to eat this food, if you want to get
Eat
muscles
your chicken.
get your chicken. And so but yeah, so it's that's even fun where they're like your muscles look big, it's like stop. Thanks. Stop. So yeah, I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling all right. I
You
mean,
mean this? You
to,
mean this right here?
you, you mean this?
Yeah.
Today's workout was rough, but no, I feel good. So
It feels good to feel good. The one thing I can say, and I could go in tomorrow, and please God, don't let it happen that I could pull something, injure something,
right.
but to feel like, over the course of the last year, like there's definitely things. My knees don't crack every time that I do a squat, or my like I can definitely feel like I feel better, and so that's the reward in that is in and of itself is huge.
No.
So.
Yeah, it's and then I think for me too, I feel as if I was saying this on Instagram yesterday. I also feel as if I'm hitting a good stride in creating, specifically the writing side. The writing has been super encouraging to me on my Substacks, which you haven't read yet. Still, it's totally fine. It's gonna be episode number 2 that I've said that and you haven't read anything. Totally fine. You had all the time while you're traveling. Could have read. It's whatever. I just love giving you crap, but that's been good too. And I every person, I think honestly more than people, because so much is required and expected of you as a man. I do believe it was the same thing like me playing drums and singing or me writing. I think every guy needs something where they go, I'm killing it. And then also eh, specifically in creating, because as you create again, right? You continually create. So you will iterate, you will make a new thing, you will make more of something. And the hope is that every next thing you feel as if is better than the last because you've just gotten better at creating that thing or you feel more at home in creating that thing. And I believe every guy needs that because he needs something that's an output that he knows he can look at and go, yeah, I this isn't just pretty good, this is really good. And I made that. And then you do it again and you go, yeah, this isn't just pretty good, this is really good. And I made that. Because it yes, should we do better about affirming each other and should our marriages have better affirmation cycles and communication and all that, and should we be in community with people that are going to build us up and yeah, challenge us, yes. But as men, I do also believe we need something that we're doing that's not for work or whatever, or maybe it is if you love it so much, but you got to create something and then create multiple versions or multiple things of that over time so that you see your own journey, your own progression, and then you can have that satisfaction. I think I believe every guy needs that. And so for me, I actually feel like that's helped my mental health a lot recently is my Substacks and feeling as if that was a great article. I think it's the best I've ever written. Next one. That's a great article. I think it's the best I've ever written. Next one.
Hmm.
I, and I don't need someone to read it and go, that's amazing. I mean, Joanna did for the one I posted yesterday. She did go, that's better than that one article you wrote like a few months ago when she said that's the best one you ever written. She did go that tops it, and that was nice to hear her say that.
Hmm.
But I didn't need it because I finished it and I went, it's damn good. All right. Like that's pretty good. That's good. It wasn't just
Mm-hmm.
pretty good. That was very good. I don't need you to tell me it was
Mm-hmm.
good. I know it was. So sorry. There's my little rant. I don't know if you have anything to say to that, but
I subscribed.
stupid. Anyway,
Yep,
do you get what I'm saying?
I do. Actually, it's funny because I think there's it's what you're saying actually resonates, and I don't think I've actually even told you this because I've really, really sat on this little piece of like bucket list sort of news, but I have um, I was accepted into the MBA program.
Nice.
Uh, got my letter yesterday for the school that I graduated, undergrad school, the university. So I'm going to be doing. I'm going to start a class at a time. So it's just very
Mm-hmm.
um, like one class, and then I'm so nervous even saying that, but I've done it because I I want to do more with than just own a business. Like
Mm.
I want to be able to take the 15 years of experience in business that I've had, and I want to be able to put that in an academic setting, to take go into the academic setting and to learn um, more about business and see how many more ways I've done it wrong. But I dream one day of actually being able to teach um, in the university, to teach. I'm passionate about marketplace ministry, and so when I applied and sent in my application like 2 weeks ago, got my acceptance email, and then the letter came in the mail while I was in New York, and it was just a really, like, I stood there and I held it in my hand, and with the summer being such a challenging summer to try to just business challenges, I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, what, like, am, but there was like this sense of adventure, and it was like, yeah, I need to do this. I want to do this. I want this is a new challenge that, and I can do it at my own pace. I don't have to rush it. I don't have to, like, I'm not against racing against the clock, but there is something just to be motivate. Like, I don't know. There's a powerful thing to be like, I'm gonna better myself, and this is an area that I haven't academically, educationally, I haven't touched in a very, very long time. And so, yeah, I don't know, it's a little bit different than the creative aspect of what we're talking about, but at the same time, it's that sense
Totally.
of drive, and I'm gonna, yeah.
Way to
Funny
go.
story, my one of my daughter's roommates is going to be in the MBA program as well, so we saw them earlier today, and she's like, I think we're going to be in the same class.
That's so funny. Is it a smaller university?
I forget. Lee's like between 3 and 4 thousand students. So
That's smaller. What is it called?
Lee University.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's smaller. I mean, the fact that it's that small that you could see, you know, yeah,
It's
that's
15
funny.
minutes from my house. So and I graduated from there. I got my undergrad there. So
Lee University. Look at that. Look at that. That's so great.
hey, how about some wins? You want to do some wins?
Let's do some wins. I've
I'm
got
gonna
a
go.
couple actually. Let me share these
Okay,
real
you
quick, and then you can do them
do it.
because these are wins that I have from interacting with people. So
Look at
two,
you
I
interacting
get,
with people.
I do what I can. One was actually from a guy who listens to the podcast. In his name is Jared. In the past, actually, so I will say this: there's two wins for him. One, he had said that um, he was really thankful. So last week, he was really thankful for our shout out in the podcast that I had shouted him out for a win that he had not said necessarily submitted to the podcast. He just submitted to me. We were just kind of talking about it, and I was shouting him out, and he said I was actually in the middle of an feeling overwhelmed and bummed out, and it was just really helpful. Like I did not expect to be just shouted out on the
That's
podcast.
cool.
And I said, yeah, of course. And so I'm shouting him out again for what he did Sunday. So he was leading. That is not his super gifting, right? I mean, once again, like I went, I I grew up playing music. I was a pastor in music in other ways too. Like that was my job. I can do all of this with my eyes closed, asleep, because I've just done that much. Not everyone's like that, and some people like they just fill in and they faithfully serve and they do the best that they can and they execute. And it's one of the beautiful things about leading the church through song is like at the end of the day, I mean, your goal is just to show Christ and obviously not like blow up. And he does a good job at leading the congregation. And also he's very honest about it. Like he's like, I still struggle to play and sing at the same time well, in a way that like I feel like I'm good, right? And he'll say like tempo issues aren't the he's got those. And that's fine. And once again, he's not a professional musician. This isn't his job. Like it's just part of, and he faithfully serves, and I'm super thankful for it. But Sunday, what he did was super cool. So I've given him feedback in the past. I tell every worship music leader, like your job is also to shepherd the congregation, and oftentimes in a lot of songs, you if you're in the congregation, you're going, I don't, where are we going? I don't know which variation you want to do. Where are we going now? Are we going to do the chorus again? Are we going to the bridge? Are we supposed to sing now? Or is there an interlude? You don't know. And oftentimes you're sitting in the congregation going, you're just like, oh, and what I tell some people so many times, some people think you shouldn't do it, it's distracting. I say, no, you should tell people where you're going to sing next, especially if it's in a later part of a song. You're like, hey, sing, if it's the first line of the chorus again, like, hey, sing that again, so they know we're going to sing the chorus again. And I told Jared that. I said, that's just very helpful. You don't have to do it, but it's something to work towards if that's what you want to do. He hadn't said he was going to try it. He didn't do it in practice. He hadn't talked about it. On Sunday, he just threw it out there in between one of the choruses that, hey, sing that again. And I texted him. And I'm like, dude, way to go. Because that's a lot. Like that's a lot to ask someone who this isn't their job. This isn't like, he's an engineer. He's an incredible engineer. Like that's his gifting and he's super smart. This is not your thing where you're in your wheelhouse. And the fact that you went out of your comfort zone, chose to say that, chose to do it in the middle of the song, and like just went for it. And it went so well. And it was super helpful. And so to me, I was like, dude, what way to go. So a shout out to Jared. I
Way
know
to
it
go,
might seem like
Jared.
I'm putting him down while I'm putting him up, but I'm not. I mean, I think it's incredible that he did that. And it's small to other people, but to me, it's huge. So that was Jared. Let's see. Oh, other guy is a guy that I know. We've done some stuff before. We've done some videos in the past for the book stuff I did in the past. His name's Jackie. He is awesome. He's an incredible young guy, great videographer and director, and he's got one of the greatest minds when it comes to just creating content. And he's a nerd, and he's driven when it comes to like, how can I make this better? How can I work the algorithm? So he's great, but he is single, and he's like, I would love to have a girlfriend. And so he'll often run things by me like, I'm talking to this girl. She said this. Should I say? And so we were at coffee getting together, and there's this girl, cute girl, who was off to the side sitting at a computer. She was editing a video, and he edits videos too because he makes it. And I was like, hey, you should go talk to her and go in there. He's like, no, I won't. I'm not gonna do it. It's weird. I don't know. And I was like, dude, just like go up to her and say, hey, I see you're editing something. I just want you to know I wouldn't change anything about you. And he was like, I'm not going to say that. I was like, I think that'd be a great opening line, but whatever, fine. Do you? So anyway, I left. He texted me. He's like, I went up to her. I tried to talk to her. No interest, but I did it. I went up to her anyway and I talked to her. And I was like, way to go. Way to
That's
try.
absolutely.
So those are
I
the two
love it.
wins from people I was interacting with this week.
I love it. Man, yeah, it takes guts to go ask just to talk to somebody
Totally.
like.
It's so it's like so nerve wracking to do
Hmm.
that.
All right. So I'm going to pop through them really quick. One, just one of our listeners, or that's on our text thread, sent being with his with the goat, which and then a picture, which I presume is him with his friend or his friend. I don't know, but you get a friendship, right? That's when you got good friendship. Another one that comes through. Trying to see who if I know this person's name. I don't see it. I'm just going to read it. My men's small group called the Backyard Boys started a new study, 12 Ordinary Men by John MacArthur. I posted the attachment on the Windstone Subdivision Facebook page and got 2 new men this morning. We're up to
Ooh,
8
super cool.
if everyone shows. So he's getting guys in his neighborhood for his men's small group. That's pretty awesome. Okay, this one, Joel, I actually read it out loud to you earlier, but I don't. I'm gonna save this one for last because this one is like I just
Save it, save
what
it,
a
save it.
yeah. Um. So yeah, Bert texts his win every week, and his wins have consistently been that as far as his teaching. So last week was his first day of school year's 23rd year of teaching middle school students. More excited than he's ever been. He can't wait to see what the school year holds. And then later he texted back and he said, also another win was a led prayer this morning before school for our school year, and 11 teachers showed up to pray alongside me.
Oh, that's great.
This to me, I just that
And that's
I've
not he's not at
walked.
a Christian school, right? He's at a public
No,
school.
no, it's a public school, and to have
That's awesome.
watched Bert. Bert's been a man of faith. Like he's always followed the Lord that I know of, at least as long as I know him. But he's to see him stepping into more and more of a place like this, boldness and courage and leadership, and is like, bruh, like I'm super super proud of my boy there. So that's a huge win. This one, okay. So I'm not gonna say the guy's name. He's sent in wins before, but I'm just gonna read it straight how he says it. My wife was having an emotional day, and she got in the shower and she started hyperventilating, like really having a hard time. It was just life because being pulled in so many directions, getting overwhelmed for a home can get overwhelming for a homemaker. Anyway, she had the music going, trying to mask it, but I could hear her. So I went in and I held her in the shower, fully dressed, shoes, wallet, pants, everything, and just held her. And I left when it was appropriate. She got out feeling heard, feeling loved, and very tired. So when we went to bed, I just held her, no words. And she woke up the next day like Mary Poppins, energetic and full of joy. That's my win this week.
Way to
Mm,
go. Just
what a win. Yeah.
what a win. Gosh. Wait, I love it. And I remember when you first were reading it to me, you're like, like what? This is kind of. I don't. I think it. I think it's just so good. Like, just what a great move as a guy to just love your wife. Also, to show her that like I'm not getting in the shower to do anything. I I'm just getting in the shower to be with you. And
Yeah.
gosh, what a
Like I'm
loving
not
loving husband.
everything else in the world can literally just be on pause right now because you're the most important person.
Amen.
So
Way
yeah,
to go.
I think what a fantastic win to end on. But
I
man,
think so
super
too.
proud of. Yeah,
I believe that's. I mean, look, it doesn't have to be you getting in the shower with your clothes on. It could just be you choosing to serve your spouse with just saying, "Hey, you know, I know you're stressed. You need to get this done. What if I did this for you?" And even just presenting the idea of you coming in to help is so big. And I think all of us as men and as husbands could do that better. Um, and it doesn't mean it has to be something crazy sacrificial. Like me saying, I'm going to take the kids to the pool. So my wife had more time uninterrupted to get stuff ready for this week's for, homeschooling. It wasn't like I said, I'm just going to, let me watch the kids. I was like, well, I took them somewhere. We had fun. And so it could be yeah, sometimes it is you get in the shower with your clothes on to show your wife like there's nothing else in the world that matters other than you. And sometimes maybe it is I'm going to take the kids to do this so that you can do this. That also means I'm getting to spend time and have fun with my kids. And so it just depends,
it's
the
a win. It's a
sacrifice
win-win.
changes. Yeah, it's a win-win. So there you go. So speaking of wins, if you have wins, we'd love for you to join our text thing. That is, if you text WIN to 423-210-4777, you'll get a hey, thanks for signing up, and you'll be a part of the text chain, I guess, that then sends the wins to us. We would love to have those. If you haven't
Absolutely.
already, subscribe, like, share this with your friends, and yeah. Oh, hey, subscribe to my Substack too. That'd be nice. You should.
Like I just did.
Great. I have 18 subscribers. Crushing it, man. Crushing it right now. Anyway, thank you all for listening. We hope you have a great week. Send us your wins. And it doesn't, like we've said, it can be as big as getting in the shower with your clothes on to show your wife that she's here and you're here. You're seeing her and you hear her and you want her to know that you're here for her. Or it could just be, or it could be as big as going to the Yankees game, taking your son to New York, or it could just be saying a kind thing to someone. It's just
Showing
it
up.
can be anything. When anything big or small can be a win. So, all right, y'all. See you later.
See you guys.
Peace.